Man, today has been a day. I'm gonna give everybody a minute, like I usually do. Okay, I'm gonna stop studying. I give y'all like 2 minutes. So, yeah. But I'm gonna give y'all about that much time. See who all hops in here. So, yeah. Today we gonna be unpacking fear. And I know I already got a video about it on my page, how to work with your root chakra on how to unpack fear, but we're gonna go a little bit more in depth because I know those videos are a bit more concise. I do that intentionally because I know that there are some people who prefer to have more quick bite-sized, information, but I allow them the space in the comments to ask whatever questions they have that I can follow up either in the comments, or you can talk about it in the live, or I'll just make a follow-up video. And I actually received one of those questions this week. So yeah, definitely gonna be touching more on that. But that's gonna piggyback off of this one. So yep. Yes, welcome. If y'all in the chat, please say hey. Don't forget to like it as well, the live. So yep, I'm gonna give y'all about 20 more seconds before I just go ahead and just start divulging everything. And for this live, I'm not even gonna be here as long as I typically would be in my other lives because I got a lot of stuff I probably try and do before the day is out. Okay, so in this video, we're going to be unpacking fear. The point of us unpacking fear is because it is false evidence appearing real. And this can have a negative impact on your manifestations. Your manifestations are going to be rooted in you actually being brave enough to take the step necessary to actually bring your manifestation into fruition, because it's a little bit more than you just professing it and just saying it. There has to be some form of action behind it so that way it can have something to stand on. You have to give it room and space and intention for it to be able to come through. Hey Justin, thank you and for joining in. Welcome to the live. Thank you for coming. So we have to touch back on to the root chakra, and I know it sounds a little bit elementary because we keep bouncing back to like the same thing. Hey Kim, hey Kenneth, thank you guys for joining in. Welcome to the live. So yeah, this goes back to the importance of balancing your root chakra. Hola Manuel. So anyway, thank you. Welcome, bienvenidos. Welcome to the channel. Hey, hun. Thank you. Thank y'all for joining the live. Don't forget to like the live and share with anybody else who you know is like struggling with getting their manifestations come through, or who are struggling with like being brave enough to actually bring them to fruition. Hey, Bahai. Am I saying your name right? I'm going to call you BK. I'm going to call you BK. Thank y'all for coming in. Don't forget to like the live. So, if anybody y'all know is struggling with their root chakra, or struggling with making their manifestations come true, or also struggling with just fear in itself, like it's like this person, they probably have all of these great ideas, or they're probably telling you about all of these amazing things that they would love to do. Okay, so I did probably say it right. Bahai, or is it Bahi? Yes. ¿Cómo te llamas? Lala. I go by Lala. That's my first time seeing somebody spell Yamas that way. Unless it meant Yamas. Hey Petro, thank y'all for coming into the live. So yes, if you guys know anybody that's struggling with that, like I'm going to be going more in depth about it here in this video. I do have like another video on my channel about conquering fear, but this one I'm going more in depth about it. So, hey, Gift, thank you guys for coming into the live. Don't forget to like the live and subscribe if this actually is being helpful to you all, if this can help somebody else that you know. So, with the root chakra, that's going to make you have to actually sit there and ask yourself, what are you really afraid of? And your root chakra is very important because it's very much so akin to a tree. So, like, if you go out into nature, you see the sturdiness of a tree, you know how deep the roots of a tree, how deep they go into the ground before they can even sprout up into the open. And so it's basically the same concept for us. Like, it's still like everything is cyclical. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, yes, everything is cyclical. So, everything you see happening outside with nature, anything you see happening with the cosmos, in the ocean, everything is going to be similar to what we're dealing with on the inside. So you can always look to nature. You can always look outside of yourself and see examples of it being performed outside of yourself in order for it to, you know, be seen within yourself. So if you need the example, like, okay, every time something happens, like something happens in your life, something distracts you, like something that you would perceive as negative, it throws you off your path, it throws you off your square, and you're just like, basically, you're getting tossed around like a rag doll. And it's like you can't win for nothing, like you fighting for your life out here, and it just seems like you just can't get on your feet for nothing in this world. Or it just seems like you just keep going through the same thing over and over again, and you like, bro, like, how many times do I have to keep dealing with these? Like, if then at some point you're gonna be like, bro, like, did I not just deal with this, like why I keep dealing with the same thing? All of it is tied to like this one fear, and it seems like God or spirit, however y'all want to perceive it, the lesson is still in itself, which is, what do you keep ignoring? Why do you keep overlooking this? Like, you're overstepping this lesson because you're not looking at the main fear that makes you keep making the same unconscious choices again and again. And you don't understand why. That's why I'm like, so for example, look at how a tree's roots and how deep they go into the ground. Like, have you noticed like trees whose roots aren't really that strong, or a tree that's not really that sturdy? Anytime something comes that is like of an adverse effect or something in nature, how easily that tree gets toppled over. So, wish you would get to me. Me too. Thank you for sliding through. Is it Imran? Thank you for coming to the live. I hope y'all enjoy this. Share this with somebody who you feel like can benefit from it. Shout out from the ATL. Shout out to y'all. I love going out there. Y'all got a lot of great food spots out there, especially some vegan food spots. The best ones are in the hood. Just dropping that out there. But but yeah, have you guys ever noticed that? And so when something similar happens to you in your own life and you feel like you're just getting tossed around and thrown every which way, like, it's because your roots aren't going down deep enough. And so now we're about to get a little deeper. So remember how I gave the example of the tree. You have the tree's roots. The deeper you go down into the darkness, into the depths of the ground, because it's dark in the ground, ain't no light down here. So it's gonna be the same thing with yourself. The deeper you go into the darkness of yourself and really start asking yourself like those difficult questions, and really, as uncomfortable as it is, and it is gonna be uncomfortable, because what growth is just gonna be easy peachy. But you have to find the bravery within yourself. Bravery is really you facing and doing something and putting action behind something when you know that you're afraid to do it, but you do it anyway. I love y'all too. Thank you. Hey Michael, I'm good. How you doing? How you doing today on this beautiful Sunday? But yes, and I'm gonna read everybody's questions in a bit, but I want to make sure I get this out. So yeah. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Imran. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh, I do. I do. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm sure you got a gorgeous mama. Thank you. So you have to go deep within yourself, and you have to ask those hard questions, and you have to face, hey, Ethiopia. Thank you, Robert, for sliding through. Please like this live and share with anybody that you feel like could probably benefit from it. Shout out from South Africa. Hey, South Africa. Thank y'all for joining in. But yes, let me go ahead and touch back on this. So any type of growth that you do is going to be uncomfortable. I'm just going to be real with you. I'm not one of those people that's going to lie to you and make it seem like Everything's gonna be fun and peachy key. It's really not. You're gonna be uncomfortable. You're probably gonna cry a lot if that's the emotion that comes out, or for example, something else, because I'm like going through the cycle within myself as well of like constantly healing. I'm dealing with something right now where I'm like very mad. The emotion that's coming up for me is anger. Like I'm pissed. um Pissed at those who've done the wrong towards me, but I'm also upset with myself in some regard as well. Like, certain things I just shouldn't have allowed, certain things I feel like I probably should have cut off sooner, but that's you know, that's kind of like a separate thing a little bit. Kind of not really. I'm probably gonna share that, if not later on, probably in a different live. But you gotta go deep. That's my whole point. Like, you're gonna have to ask the questions that make you feel uncomfortable. You're gonna have to look yourself in the mirror, and you're really gonna have to deal with that shadow side of yourself. This is all a part of doing shadow work, like dealing with that. And as those roots grow deeper within yourself, you'll realize that you're gaining more nutrients from that. You're seeing the lessons that you are learning from that, and then you're realizing and saying, like, you know what, I really, don't have to keep dealing with that. Or you come to realize there's really nothing that you really have to be afraid of. It's like, okay, I understand why I was afraid of it. Um, and I understand why, like, why I did it or why it happened and things of that nature. But I'm not gonna allow this to continue to stop me from pursuing or doing what I actually really want to do. You know, like that's not a good enough reason to not do that anymore. Or maybe something was true at that point in time, but now it's no longer true at this point in time. You know, things can change. And so you have to allow yourself to grow and deepen your roots. So now when these adversities and these things come at you sideways, now you just kind of look at them like, okay, and like, you've done this before. Like, what was your point even then? Like, this was foolish. Or even when you have to deal with it yourself, because you were probably the one manifesting and projecting that type of energy, and that, putting that out there to other people to have to deal with. Like, oh, you so sweet, you call me Alicia Keys. Stop. Nah, don't stop. But anyway, uh you have to look at yourself and be like, okay, why did I even do that? Okay, now what was the point of me really doing that? And how did that benefit me? Because it might be a situation where now you've made yourself have to deal with, like, you're gonna have to face that. If you keep avoiding it in this world, once you transition over to the spiritual world fully, you're still gonna have to face that, because you're gonna get questioned about that, because you're gonna have to be like, there's gonna be like a life review. And I'm speaking this because this is due to like multiple people like speaking on that, and like um I've had that type of download before. Like, when you do transition over, there is a review of your life and the choices that you've made and how you've affected other people. Not to make you live in fear, but to just make you be more considerate of the energy that you put out in your actions towards yourself and those around you. That's why you have to care for yourself just as much you care for others. Hey guys, welcome to the live. Thank y'all for joining in. If this information is being helpful for you guys, like, don't forget to like my live. Check out my other content on my channel, subscribe, or share with anybody else that you feel like this would be a major help to. So that is the vitality of you probably going out in nature. So like, one thing I would do, and this was like strictly intuitive, like nobody told me to do this at all, but I would just get this urge. Like, we used to have like this big tree in our front yard, and I always just felt this nudge to just go out there, and something would just like say, just go out there, just touch the tree, like just go sit with the tree, like feel the tree's energy. And I'm just like thinking to myself, I'm like, man, you trying to turn me into one of them tree huggers they used to make fun of, like back in like the 60s and 70s and stuff. I'm like, what y'all talking about? But I could still feel me being called to the street. So I was like, you know what? I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go out there. I think it was like in fifth grade or something. I went and I sat under this tree and something was like meditate. And I was like, what is meditation? I don't understand that, but it was like, you know what, just sit in silence. Crisscross applesauce, hands in your lap like you used to do in first grade, like your first grade teacher used to tell y'all. And just be still for a moment and really feel that energy. And so I was like, all right, fine. So I did it. And what came to be from that was just me really being able to connect with the energy of that tree. And it turns out that tree was like hella old. And I could really feel like the power of its roots and like how strong and sturdy that it actually was. Thank you, Haley. Thank you. And I would like touch the roots of the tree, and it's like I could literally feel like its strength. And what message I was basically getting from it was to learn how to be akin to the tree. And who knows, maybe it was trying to get me prepared for the type of life that I was going to, or the experiences that were coming my way. And also with the experiences I was also still dealing with at that time in my childhood, learning how to become strong and sturdy, similar to like that tree. So that gets back to like me talking about the root chakra. And me at the time, I didn't know anything about chakras. I think I might have heard somebody say something about it, but I didn't know anything about chakras. I didn't know anything about this stuff. But for some reason, the energy of that root from that tree is what was like the strongest message within it. And so this also plays an effect on your ego. So going back to everything, learning how to, you know, it's like, okay, I'm scared, but I'm gonna speak even though my voice is shaking. Or yes, I'm scared, but I'm still going to move forward in taking this action. It's like, you know, I'm gonna do it anyway. You know, like, yeah, this could happen, that could happen, this could happen. False evidence appearing like it's real when it's really not, because you're like, anything could happen. And true, like anything could happen. But guess what? Could and is are two different things. Could is like there's a possibility. Is like, oh nah, bro, we dealing with this type right now in real time. You know, in our current reality, this is what's happening. But that's probably likely not even going to be the case. And even if you go through with it, okay, and let's say the worst came to pass, it's over with now. Are you going to allow it to continue to stop you, or are you going to still find more avenues to actually go forth and pursue what you're actually trying to bring to yourself and manifest? And so this is what blocks you from actually being able to bring in your manifestations, because when you get hung up in your ego and you start doing things to yourself, doing things to others, or even the lack thereof, which is still an action, your action is even in inaction is still an action within itself, because you're depriving something of an energy that it may need in order for it to be able to come through. So, like, when you allow stuff like that to happen, then it's like now you're caught up in your ego, like, man, I knew that wasn't gonna happen, or I knew that was like that anyway, or you're projecting something else out of fear of like, you know what, I'm gonna get them before they get me, you know, or no, I can't do that. Well, man, you know, maybe if I just had enough money, you know, maybe this, maybe one day, maybe someday, maybe whatever excuse you still come out. And I'm not, when I say excuse, that's not to be dismissive, because these fears can be very much so valid in itself. But the issue comes in when you allow it to control you, when you allow it to control your ego. Like, you can't even enjoy a happy and healthy relationship because you're too afraid of what somebody else may think or feel, or you're so afraid of, you know, like, what if this don't work out, what if they're like the last person, what if this happens, you know, like, again, what if, shoulda, coulda, woulda, possibly could happen, but it doesn't mean that it is happening. You also have to look at your realities of what is happening before you, learning to stay rooted and trying to be present in the present moment, and taking things for what they are can help you break into that a lot easier. And so, making your manifestations coming to be. Go into nature, connect with nature. Like, if you need to get more rooted and grounded and more sturdy within yourself and learning how to stand your ground or not just falling apart every time something happens that you perceive as something that you don't like, not letting it make you fall apart. You can feel your emotions, you could just not be feeling it at all. Like, you know, it's those are valid feelings, but the moment you allow that whirlpool to just get stuck and to let all of that gunk to just get stuck and clogged up in you, instead of allowing it to go into that cyclical motion of cycling out, allow it to be cycled out. And then that's what's going to start leading you. It's like, okay, that's how I felt about it. Very much so valid and true within my own self and my experience. But now, what am I about to do with it now? You know, like, what different decisions am I about to make from here? You know, hey Shy, welcome to the channel. So that is what's gonna make the difference between your manifestations coming to life. Because now that you see that, and now it's like right here now, it's in your conscious mind. I can perceive it, I see it. Okay, what different actions and steps am I about to take now in order to make sure what I actually desire comes to be? And I'm not gonna let anything stop me from getting what I truly actually desire. And you have to ask yourself, is this really what I want? Or do I want something else that's truly behind it? Because some people may make that toxic, and you know what, I just be frank. So like some people may perceive it as, oh, that person is dating shit, I don't know, a guy or a girl that I would like to date myself. Do you actually really want to date that person specifically, or is there an energy or an essence behind them that you feel like you lack within yourself that you need? And so now you're trying to perceive, and now you're bringing up negative energies and becoming a devil. Hey, oh, okay, you're from Israel. Hey, from Israel. We're going to talk about that in a moment. You have to deal with, you know, what is it truly behind it? And why should you go out and become a devil or a negative entity into other people's lives in that type of way? Because you're not really being a service that helps and benefits those around you by bringing up that stuff. Yeah, what Lazar said. So that's why I feel like it's beautiful for you to go out into nature and really connect with it. If you're, like I was saying, if you're feeling like any little thing that happens, you get knocked off your rocker or you feel like you're falling apart, you need to go connect with a tree. Find a tree that speaks to you and that you speak to it. You have to, and you got to really listen for to find something like that. If you feel like you're just being so overwhelmed with just emotions and things of that nature, you don't know how to let your emotions come in and flow back out, go visit a body of water. Probably not a swamp because the water's kind of stagnant there, but you probably could still go visit a swamp and there's still some spiritual essences there, because you can look at how the stillness of that water holds on to stuff there, and now you can see all the stuff that's growing in it and growing from it. If you want to go to an ocean, if you have access to doing that. I know when I went to go visit the Atlantic Ocean and when I went to go visit the Pacific Ocean, I picked up on two different energies. Huge energies, but completely different. The Atlantic Ocean, ooh, the amount of heaviness I felt when I went to like the Atlantic Ocean, but then I could still feel the warmness of the water from it coming in and flowing away. And sometimes even just letting that water come up to your feet and watching it be pulled away can teach you how to let your emotions come in. You feel them, but then you let them go back out. Don't hold them all in one spot. You can't grow like that. So, hey YMA, it's nice to see you. YMA has been a long time supporter, y'all. So I gotta give shout outs to him. Thank you for sliding through. So connecting with nature in that way, if you feel like your mind is just overwhelmed, going out sitting in nature, probably sit under a tree if it's hot as hell outside, and getting that good breeze, but also knowing to let your thoughts flow in like the wind, but also allow them to pass by like the wind too, you know. So another way for you to also strengthen like your root chakra and to conquer false evidence appearing real. So if you were blessed enough to have a mom or a mother figure, how do you, when you probably was little and you got scared, you probably want your mama, right? Like, you need to go hug your mom, or you be like mommy or whatever. But when your mother hugged you, like for some reason you felt like this sense of comfort, like every little thing is gonna be all right. Like, no, not trying to, copy Bob Marley, but he one line, every little thing is gonna be all right. But you felt like that when you hugged your mother or your mother figure, right? They gave you that sense of comfort, you know. It's the same type of energy. That's why hugging your mother is going to be one of those extra things that help you to be able to heal your root chakra, and to let you know, like, it's okay, to go in. It's okay to let those fears come up and to face your demons and to be able to let them go. Like, I feel like sometimes a lot of people probably misconceive your own demons when your demons are nothing but your shadows being perceived as evil, but really they're just reflections of you. They're reflections of the unhealed you. They're reflections of the you that didn't get that hug from your mama or your daddy. They're reflections of the you that was neglected by the people that you thought were supposed to love you. They're the reflections of you who were abandoned and did not get protected when you were supposed to be protected. Like, those are like just all of your shadows, all of your insecurities. The reflections, they're reflected even the people that try to bully you, even growing up, or even as an adult. You know, a lot of people can't grow up. That's what, because they're stuck in that energy. Allow yourself to face it and actually deal with it, talk through it. Shit, sometimes you might have to actually really talk to your demon and be like, what's up with that? And be like, like, this was what happened, like, we're still pissed about that. No, we're still sad about that, or, like, this really broke my heart, I still feel abandoned, I still feel like I'm unloved, I'm unimportant, dealing with that and actually walking through that. And then realizing the fear that came about from that does not have to be what it is at all. Yeah, see, yeah, hugging your mom does help. Yeah. Like, if you've been blessed to be able to do that, everybody don't have that. Sometimes some people's moms are alive. Sometimes people have moms that aren't mothers. Some people got dads that aren't fathers, you know. So we're gonna take that into account as well, But do you have a mother figure, someone who was like that for you? And sometimes we don't have that at all. Most thing that we can connect to is still back to nature. And still going back within yourself and loving on yourself with the type of energy that you should have gotten when you were much younger. So ask if what you're afraid of in the present, like, ask yourself, like, is that what's truly like just being manifested, like just in your mind, Is this something like, did you manifest this fear, like, so that way you could kind of be like, what they call it, in psychology they call it like an unconscious bias, right? Where it's like you subconsciously, probably without even realizing, you keep doing stuff and putting yourself into scenarios and situations, and then turn around and being like, see, I knew that's what was gonna happen. Like, I think I gave the example of relationship earlier. So like, you keep being the problem in your relationship, right? Like, you keep whatever your shtick is, like whether it's infidelity, lying, stealing, whatever it is, but you keep doing wrong by other people. And then when that person gets up and leave you, like, see, I knew you was never gonna stay. See, I knew you was, you was always just gonna turn and just leave, and you were never gonna stick around and blah 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 blah, right? But you never looked in the mirror and been like, okay, but look at the actions that you took behind your conscious thought, and look what it manifested for you. You manifest at the end of your own relationship because you had in your conscious thought, based rooted in fear, I'm afraid of this, or I'm afraid they were just gonna abandon me, or they're just gonna be like them, or they're gonna mistreat me. Let me go ahead and beat them to the punch. That's multiplying times action. Like, I don't know if I just started listening to Ben Carson, and he was right when he said that conscious thought times action equals your manifestation. What you think, if your thoughts are rooted in fear and shame and guilt in all of those lower chakras that have yet to be healed because you neglected it, that is going to, if you put action behind that, especially if you put action behind it, you're going to get what you asked for. I knew you was going to do that anyway. But you're not acknowledging that you pushed them to want to do that anyway. You're not acknowledging the fact that now in your present moment, rooted because you had false evidence trying to appear as though it was real, and then you multiplied it with the actions behind it, whether you started talking to them crazy, mistreating them, betraying them, whatever may have you, and now you looking crazy at your manifestation like, I can't believe they left. How could you not? That's what your conscious thought kept telling you, and then you kept multiplying that times your actions. Like you made that come about like at an exponential rate when you did that. So now you still have to bag back. And when you start reflecting, you need to ask yourself the actions that you're taking. How does this serve me? And then behind that, how am I serving others? Because we are all connected. It's good to have a good balance. You have to be a balance. So not if you don't want to go too overboard, when you're working with your root chakra, like that. Like over time, yeah, get deeper and deeper. Like I said, I go in cycles because everything is cyclical. Our sphere that we are sitting on is cyclical. Even the universe, I believe, is cyclical. Every time I see somebody show a picture of some type of stellar or nebula, it always forms some type of cyclical cycle, circle, whatever variation of the word we're on today. So but if you can't even reflect on that truth within yourself, be like, it's like, okay, whenever you get done lying, because you're only lying because you feel like your love has nowhere to go because you're still stuck on the grief. You only feel shameful because you don't feel like you can be accepted within yourself. You're blocking up your solar plexus. You can't express yourself creatively because you still feel the guilt behind whatever decision or action or whatever may have happened. And then behind all of that, behind the lies, behind the grief, behind the shame, behind the guilt, is that false evidence still appearing real at the end of the day. And that's why you really need to sit down with yourself and really ask yourself these questions. Because now you sit up here looking crazy. Because you can't understand why your manifestations either are not coming true or not realizing that your manifestations are coming true because the actions that you're doing are still based off of the conscious thought that you put behind them, and your conscious thought is still rooted in that fear. I probably should let that sink in for a minute. I don't know if I probably said a mouthful. Whew. Because I'm also going to talk about how to transmute it. And yes, the video on my page does speak on how to do it. God bless you too, Patrick. Thank you for everybody that slid through. Thank you guys for liking the live, sharing the live. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content and what I'm being able to put out to you guys and sharing with you all. And if you feel like this will be helpful to anybody else, like don't be afraid. Like go ahead and slide it to somebody else. They could benefit from it because that's the whole point of my channel. Like I'm just trying to help. Like I know I might not have like one specific niche because I do everything. Because what I talk about touches on everything that we tend to have a difficulty with. Hey Leo. Hey y'all. So, yeah. So now we're going to get into it for real. So now we're about to talk about, okay, I realize I got this fear, right? And I don't know what to do with like damn, bro, I get like I'm pale in the face, like looking at this shit, like my demon looking at me, I'm looking at it, and I don't like what I'm seeing right now, right? I'm looking in the mirror, I don't recognize who I'm seeing right now. Who are you? You probably lost yourself. Maybe this wasn't always who you perceived yourself to be. But maybe you just didn't realize that that demon has already been inside you like that entire time. Like just lurking, but you just kept pushing it down and ignoring it. Your shadow. You really got to look at that for real. We're going to learn how to transmute that. Because I always incorporate science and stuff onto my channel, because a lot of people might say science and spirituality and shit is completely separated. I beg to digress. I beg to differ, because we get a clear understanding of it all. In physics, they tell you that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transmuted. Everything is energy. Your emotions are energy in motion. Everything is energy. Energy in motion, they call it kinetic energy. So when we start incorporating that, it's like, okay, good. I paid attention in seventh grade. Awesome. I'm about to make the connection, right? So how do we transmute this energy of fear? Because fear is just another energy. That's all that it is. So how do I take the energy of fear and turn it into something that I can actually utilize to give the energy behind my action, so I can manifest the life and things that I'm actually looking forward to doing, right? So I'm from the South, from up under the Bible Belt, Mississippi. Yep. Put Mississippi on the map, y'all. They don't give us enough credit. There's a lot of people out here from Mississippi that don't give our home state and the Mississippi Delta, the credit for the lessons that we learned down there, because I'm just saying, that's a whole other story. Anyway, transmuting your fear. So you have to really look at your fear and see where is it coming from. So for example, I have this fear of being neglected or abandoned, right? I'm about to change it. It's like, okay, no, I don't want for that to happen. But if it does happen, is it truly the end of everything, the world and everything? No. Okay. Start asking yourself some more questions. Okay, so since it's not the end of everything, what if you're dealing with something or someone, or even within yourself, because you can abandon and neglect yourself as well. What if we start making different choices? Like when you see there's something that you want to need, like it'll be something little. So let's say you're the type of person that probably goes for like everybody probably guilty of not drinking enough water, right? So let's say you know your ass thirsty. But you're like, okay, hold on, Will. I don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like doing this. At that point, you're neglecting yourself. Yeah, you might be a little tired. Take like a minute or two, but then you need to get up and go get yourself some water. You have to learn to cater to yourself. Now let's tie this into somebody else. Now let's say we dealing with somebody who probably is struggling with their own demons within themselves, so now they don't know how to love and care for you properly. Whether they be somebody in a romantic relationship, you funny. Whether they be a romantic relationship, whether they be people in your family, because just because they related to you, blood don't equal family. And I already got a video about that. Well, I got a short about that, but we can expand on that in a future video. It could be other people that you meet, friends and stuff like that. Like, you have to realize that maybe they're on a different frequency than you're trying to be on. And honestly, once you start changing your vibration and changing your frequency, if they're not trying to do the same thing even within themselves, so that way they can share that with the other people around them, that's when you like it. Sometimes you don't even have to do nothing. It's like you're just gonna start realizing like y'all just don't connect no more. They'll just kind of fall off the wayside. Like one of my favorite phrases, I'm like, the trash takes itself out, and it does. You don't have to sully your hands with anything. You can talk about everything, but yeah, what Stacey said, I agree. But you can't. But you don't have to be stuck there. You know. So learn how to do that for yourself, and then you can start doing that for others around you. So let's say if you was the so-called issue when it came to relationships, okay, now you're doing things differently now, because now you're learning how to love and how to treat yourself truly and with real love and guidance, right? Now you can start sharing that real love with somebody else, you know? And that's not to say like they won't have their own things or issues going on, but at the same time, you know, you will be responsible for the actions that you take. And so now your conscious thought shifts to something different, like, no, like I'm good. Like, yeah, that stuff happened, but I'm not stuck there anymore, you know? So, things aren't the same. And who knows? Maybe this might be the one. Like, I'm really liking everything, like we're connecting. Like, I feel safe. I feel like my inner child is happy with this person's inner child, connecting with them. Like, I feel like we can really take this somewhere else. So, that will help you to be able to put a different action behind your conscious thought. And now look at you. You probably just manifested the relationship that you've always dreamed of, or maybe the marriage that you've always hoped for. Maybe you got one of those marriages that they used to try to say this about these older marriages, but that's nah, they wasn't really like that. A lot of people just stuck because of other reasons. But you can actually truly have a happy and healthy relationship where y'all don't be doing all this crazy stupid stuff to each other. Like, y'all truly love and enjoy being around each other, and y'all can actually say we have a mature and happy relationship. Not to say that things are going to be perfect, because what is perfection anyway? I have yet to see an explanation behind that. But bare minimum things, love, loyalty, respect, you can easily manifest it by just changing your conscious thought. Even with money, changing your relationship even with money. How do you think about money? How do you think about other people when they have money? Are you the type of person that be like, who professes things with their tongue, because your tongue is the life bringer? The moment you start professing stuff with your tongue is the moment you start etching this shit into the universe. Don't be surprised when your manifestation starts showing like that. And you like, man, must be nice, or man, everybody can't have that, or blah 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 blah. Especially when you say everybody can't have that, knowing in your subconscious and conscious mind you're referring to yourself. And then every time you look at your bank account, you're trying to figure out where's your money disappearing to. Everybody can't have it, right? That's what you were saying in reference to yourself, right? So that in itself is like why your manifestations keep popping up the way that they do. Hey, you guys, welcome to the live. If you guys are enjoying the content, don't forget to like the live or to subscribe to the channel. I still got other content on my page that's related to what we're talking about in this video. I'm just expunging upon this and false evidence appearing real. So at the end of the day, you guys still have to, you know, work on it, you know. So that is how you begin to transmute your energy. Because then once you work on that within yourself, you start changing your relationship with yourself. You start changing your relationship with everybody else around you. And of course, anything else in relation to you around you, whether they have to make the decisions within themselves to do certain things and to grow in certain areas. And if that vibration don't click, they just gonna fall off the wayside, and it's okay. Release them with peace and love, and it's time to move on. You know, same thing with money. You know, the moment you start changing how your relationship is with money, how do you think about money? How do you look at money? Or even ask yourself this: if you have been struggling with manifesting, receiving income in the way that you actually want to receive it, like if you feel like you're not making enough, you're not stable enough, or you're always paycheck to paycheck, check yourself on this. The way that you think about money, or the way that you think about people in relation to money, or if they have money, how do you think about them? And if you thought about yourself the same way that you would think about money, or the same way that you think about people who just so happen to have money, would you want to be around you? Would you want to flock towards you? That's the question. And if your answer is like, nah, bro, like, shit, if I talk about myself the way I talk about other people that got money, or because they have money, or anything in relation to money, like, I wouldn't want to be around me either, there's your answer. That's why you're still struggling financially. That's why you're still paycheck to paycheck. Your conscious thought times your action, because I bet within that conscious thought that you keep having, you keep taking actions that manifest the reality that you're dealing with right now that makes you struggle financially. It's literally the same formula. Like, so, and that's not to knock anybody too, because, of course, we got to face the realities of a lot of things as well. And everybody isn't like, on that same type of mindset of their frequency, but I want to put this out there because I want everybody to be able to become self-sufficient and self-sustaining, because the more that we try to rely on the specific governance of the system that they have set before us, the more we're probably going to continue to struggle, because they want us in the mindset of being on that hamster wheel, struggling, working this nine shit. It ain't even a 9 to 5 no more, bro. It's like an 8 to 6 or a freaking 9 to 9. Sometimes you got 2 jobs that you're working. Sometimes you're literally at work from 7 a.m. well into like 10 or 11 o'clock, like that evening. That's ridiculous. When do you have time to breathe? When do you have time for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones? Like, yeah. I see I need to put some mods in the chat. So it's alright. Uh, it's alright, bro. You good. No, we good on that. We good on that. We're not worried about that. We worried about the people that's actually here trying to actually, gain something from what's being shared, or who got something else to share as well. Hey, I don't know. Yeah, well, I might just gonna make you a policeman up in here, cause you always present, even when you got other stuff going on. Yep. Yeah. Congratulations, you have now been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees. So, back to like I was saying. So, transmuting that energy, yes, you're going to face the same complexities. It's going to be like, okay, for everybody in here who probably either learned how to ride a bike or learn how to swim or learn how to drive. If you, yes, baby? Yes, baby? I should call me. Anyway, so yeah, for real. So, do y'all remember how afraid y'all probably were? You know what? I'm gonna stop. I keep projecting, and I'm projecting because I ain't really telling about this story. But you know what? The time has come. The moment's now. The time is here. The time is now. So, when I first started learning how to ride a bike, I was coward. Okay, I panicked. I freaked out. Like I was getting on the bike, and then I would do crazy shit that didn't even make sense that I was doing on the fucking bike. And and my older brother and my older sister, they just looked at me with disgust and shame because they're just like, "Bro, that was pathetic." And I'm like, "Yes, I know." So when I started trying to learn how to ride this bike, and they took the training wheels off, I was like, "Damn, bro." I was afraid of falling. And at this point, I kind of was already falling anyway because my dad used to take us to this roller skating rink where he was teaching us how to roller skate. My dad taught us a lot of stuff. Shout out to him. But but yeah, so they finally took the whatever the training wheels off, and I'm like, okay, because I had got this bike for Christmas, and it was a Roadmaster. It was a green Roadmaster, and it was one of them big adult bikes. Like it wasn't the little bikes no more. It was the big one. I remember it like it was yesterday. So I was like, yeah, I want to ride my bike, but I'm kind of scared. So my older brother-in-law was like, we'll show you this. Like, okay, get on the bike. So I'm up there. They're like, they holding the bike. And it's like, okay, they going, they pushing me, but I keep about to fall, right? So I keep trying to break my fall by throwing my foot down because I'm scared. Anyway, fast forward to this one point where they're like, okay, they got me in the driveway. And they're going there. It's like, okay, we're gonna do this. At this point, they're frustrated. It's hot as hell outside. It's the summer. It's Mississippi Delta, y'all. If y'all know Mississippi heat in the Delta, you know it's humid and it's hot. Like I'm not joking. It's humid and hot. Like that's that type of heat. So they already hot. They getting mad at me because I keep doing dumb shit or what they perceive as dumb shit. So they push me on the bike. And they finally let go. They was like, man, all you gotta do is just paddle. And I'm like, I think I'm paddling, but I really wasn't because every time we paddle, I would stop paddling because I would get scared. And at this point, they're like, oh, wait, you're doing it. And I'm like scared and I'm panicking. And so I'm about to drive right into the giant black, the big garbage can you got outside that you put the garbage into. So we had a big black one, right? And I'm like going straight for it. And it's like 2 cars on the side, and I can't hit the cars, otherwise I'm getting in trouble with my mom. So I'm like going on this bike. And so I was like, I can't watch this. So I cover my eyes, y'all. And they were like, look at you, you're riding with no hands. I slammed straight into the garbage can. And my bike just falls over. And it was the most pathetic moment ever. When I say they just looked at me and they shook their head and they went in the house because it was just that pathetic, I was just like, bro. Hey, who was this Arc, Strat, Gender, and we still got Leo. Dang, Leo, you ain't had to laugh at me that hard, okay? All right, okay. I grew from that, all right? As pathetic as it sounds. Thanks to everybody that's new that came into the live. Don't forget to like, subscribe if y'all want more content from me, or if y'all just want to check out the content I already got on my page. And if you guys want to fast forward or rewind back to the beginning of the live to catch everything we already talked about, feel free to do that too. Um, but yes, it was very much so pathetic. It was very pathetic. So, um, so I eventually, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I had to reflect on myself. I was like, damn. Okay, I didn't probably really say damn because I was like 7 or something like that. But I was like, dang. I was like, I really wanted to learn how to ride this bike. And they said I rode with no hands. And that was pretty cool. I wasn't trying to, but I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, but did I really stop pedaling? I was like, yeah, I did stop pedaling. I got scared, you know. And so one day, and they were just like, man, I ain't even about to show you nothing. You might as well give your bike to one of these other kids around the corner. You see everybody else riding their bike except for you. I think my brother told me that. And he walked off from me. I was like, dang, I can't even blame him for that. Because that was pretty pathetic. And so I just kind of was like, okay, now I'm willing to face my fears. And this is one of the earliest moments I remember me starting to face my fear. And I went up to one of the people, like one of the little kids in the neighborhood, and I was like, man, I was like, you mind showing me, let me practice like riding the bike and stuff. He had a smaller bike than mine, so maybe that's what helped me. And so he was like, yeah, hop on, I'm about to go with like Pookie in the house or whoever, because that's what we all got nicknames. So I was like, okay, let's try it. And I was like, if I fall, would it really be so bad? And I was like, it's not. So I started trying to paddle. I see I'm starting to wobble. I can't remember if I actually fell or not, but I think I got back up. And I got back on the bike. And I just kept like, okay, paddle, pedal, pedal, pedal. And I started catching wind, right? And I was like, oh shit. So I stopped. I was like, I think I just did it. Like I made it from my house to the stop sign, which wasn't really far at all. But I did it. Case in point to the stories that I finally fucking did it. And so I was like, okay, well, let me try it again, and I started going. I started telling my friends, I was like, look, y'all, I can finally do it. So my friends came outside, they trying to cheer me on and stuff. And so I felt, I felt good about myself. And I was like, I finally rode the bike, and I went in the house. I was like, I finally did it. And I was like, you rode your bike or you rode somebody else's bike? I was like, I rode that bike right there. And I said, I think I might be ready to ride my big girl bike now. And so that's how that came about. I finally shared that story with the public. I've only very few ears have heard that story before, so consider you guys very lucky. It's so embarrassing, but that's what happened. But that's one of those moments where I learned to like start facing my fear, because honestly, I was really I was psyching myself out over this false evidence appearing that it was real. It's like if I feel like it would be like the worst thing in the world, like I'm gonna scrape my knee and all this other thing. It's kind of like, yeah, so put some water on it, slap a band-aid on it, and get back out there. I'm a 90s kid, so yeah, we had to stay outside, and wasn't no running in and out the house back then. So yeah. And so once we get to that point, like I was saying, unpacking your fear, facing your demon, looking in the mirror, like for real, looking in the mirror and really asking yourself like these real questions. Ask yourself those hard questions and really go deep. And then once you uncover that, figure out how you want to change that energy around. How am I? It's like, okay, so you got this energy. Like, how you gonna take this and dash it back to somebody? Like, yeah, like, okay, shoot, I watch a lot of anime and stuff like that. But there's times you might see somebody like throw an energy beam at you, okay, but you catch the energy beam, now you transmute that energy beam into your energy beam, and now you blasting that energy beam back at them, probably stronger than the one that they actually sent to you. So, you know, if you guys, it's in this safe space, like y'all can talk about it, but actually really dealing with it for real and really facing it like for real. I know I gave like the light version of when I had to deal with facing the fear of riding my bike when I was little. I got other fears I'm dealing with, and I'm gonna share it in another live. If we don't have time today, I'm definitely gonna talk about it another time. um, I was like, dang, bro, like, I was like, man, I was just scared of falling. I was just scared of hurting my legs. You know, I was just scared of being hurt, and I thought that maybe it would be like the worst pain imaginable. You know, shout out to Indonesia, I fucks with y'all heavy. But shout out to Brazil too. I can't speak Portuguese, but shout out to y'all too. Um, so yeah, thank you, Warren. I appreciate that. So yeah, man, I had to literally look at that and I was like, yeah. And then when I looked at the moment when I reflected on it in that moment, I was like, damn, bro, I literally bumped into the garbage can. It fell over. It was so pathetic. I had to laugh at myself. Sometimes you gotta laugh at your own self, you know, especially if you know you just did something ridiculous or silly. It's kind of like, okay. Like if I looked at that from a third person point of view, it would have been funny, right? Like if I was on TV, I would be laughing at myself, like on TV. Like, that's how it was perceived. So that's pretty much that. Just taking it and transmuting it, not just transmuting it to me being like, you know what, but I do, you know, like I do want to know how to ride a bike. I went outside, you know, hopped on one of my friends' bikes and I learned how to ride a fucking bike. And now you can't tell me nothing, you know. I'm getting a call. I'm gonna call back later. So so yeah, and realizing where it came from. So like sometimes, you know, you gotta ask your demons like, okay, where you from? You know, I was from that moment when, you know, I got yelled at for not doing something perfectly the first time, you know, or, you know, I'm from that moment when, you know, when we tried to do something new and we got scolded for doing it or trying something else. Really gotta ask yourself that. So, you learning how to drive in Louisiana. Hey, let me know how that goes too. Yeah, because I love to, you know, see people's story and progressions. I know it's a little scary, but, you know, Louisiana, Mississippi, you know, we got them dirt roads, you know, so we can go drive on a dirt road. We be fine. This when you need to, when you go to cities like New York or LA, that shit I would have been scared of. People doing too much out there. See, we got these dirt roads. Hardly anybody out there. You can go. You can fuck up as much as you want to. Out there, it's too much. It's too much on the line. um. So yeah. Oh, LA. Oh, my bad. Oh, I just assumed Louisiana. But yeah. So system permanent ban will occur if live video does not end in 5 minutes. Ugh. System permanent ban. I don't know what that is. A live doesn't end in 5 minutes. Okay. That's never happened before, but okay. Um, so yeah. So, yep. And once you talk to them, you'll start seeing like the lies or the illusions that were perceived to you. So this is why I know in one of my other lives, hey, if y'all new to the live, like don't forget to like the live, check out some other content, subscribe, catch me next week as well, because I try to go live every week on, you know, on Sunday, like around golden hours time, because I feel like everybody out of church, at least on this side of the world at this point. So, once you start realizing what was the lie and what the illusion was, and how it made itself bigger or more than what it really was, and then you transmute it, the moment you change your perception is the moment you start shifting that fear around. Once you turn that fear off or transmute it into something that's actually going to be of service to you and others, that's when it's going to change your conscious thought. For me, it was like, man, I can ride this bike. I had to change my thought and be like, and change my thought like from, oh my God, falling would be the worst thing in the world to, man, okay, if I fall, so what? If it hurt, go get a band aid, slap that shit on, and come back out here and we're going to do this again until we get it right. Then once I shifted my thought, I actually went and did it until I got it right. That was the action. From there, I manifested being able to learn how to ride a bike. Same thing with roller skating too. So, dang, y'all had a lot of questions. And I'm sorry if I missed a lot of you guys' questions. So, hey Kishore, hey Star, welcome to the live. If you guys are enjoying my content, please like the live and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if y'all want to stick around, or if you guys want to check out my other content on my channel. Please feel free, and if y'all got questions, like drop them down below. Okay, I got somebody in here speaking Francais. What we got? Yes, I am American. Bonjour. Hey, top of the morning, Kishore. Where y'all at? Are you in India? Let me know. Shout out to everybody that's not from America in the live too. Shout out to y'all. Um, Shout out to the people up in here that's from Israel. I'm gonna say the real name. Sometimes I say it's not real, like when they be tripping. But if y'all, hey, if y'all one of the Israelis that says like, that lets us know like Palestine, y'all support Palestine, like, yeah. I support the Israelis that support Palestine. So I'm gonna say it like that because free Palestine, free Congo too. India. Shout out to y'all. I love Indians, bro. I love y'all. I love India. Shout out to y'all. I can't wait to visit. True. I can't wait to start. Hey, when I start circumnavigating this globe, I'm taking y'all with me for real. Yeah, I gotta show y'all everything. Like, there's so many places I want to check out, man. So many temples and stuff. Like, bro, we got to go. We got to do it. So people love you, trust me. Oh, that's so sweet, Jorn. Thank you. Thank you. I love y'all too. Drop a Korean heart real quick. I love my Korean heart. So, do y'all got any questions for me? Or did y'all have anything y'all want to share? Because it's an open space, it's a safe space. So we're gonna talk about it. So I flip through my notes. Where am I from? Mississippi. America, Mississippi. Mississippi Delta. Where you from? Let's see. Please come to India one time. Shit, man. You talk about one time. I'm trying to come there a few times, man. Indian food be busting. I love it. I love the culture. I love the dress. I love everything about India. Like I appreciate the British occupation, but when have I ever appreciated colonization, right? But I like real authentic India, like the ones that still practice. Shout out to y'all. I fucks with y'all a long way, heavy. Can't wait to visit. Should probably stay out there for a few times. Some that or something here. Um, from Cali. Oh yeah, yeah. I used to stay out that way. The Bay. Yeah. Where you from? You from the north or you from SoCal? Saludos de Mexico. Yes. Shout out to my look. I love my Mexican folks too. Bienvenidos. Thank you. Bienvenido. Am I right? Is it bienvenido? Am I right? Let me know. But yeah, shout out. I love you guys there too. Let's American, like Petit, Islam, Algeria. Okay. No, I don't practice Islam, but I do have a lot of respect from people who are Muslim. And they are welcome here. Shout out to Algeria. Thank you guys for sliding through. I live in Folsom, working for PG&E. You know who they are. PG&E, yeah, that's a company. Yeah. Yeah, I know that company. Okay, I was right. Bienvenidos. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that I got it right. I'm a little rusty, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. Man, I really appreciate you guys coming through. You gonna send me a sorry? Man, I'm gonna give me a P.O. box. Man, fuck around, let me give me a sorry, bro. Do you not know how long I've wanted a sorry? Man, I can't wait. I wanna go to y'all celebrations, the weddings. Like, I had a friend, she was grown. And she used to stay in Mississippi too. She's married now. She met her husband down there, and they own the store. Oh man, I miss her so much. But yeah, I love her so much, and like I wanted to be able to go to her wedding, but I couldn't because she got married in India, and then they came back here. Oh gosh, I wanted to go there. I was like, I want to wear a sari. I would love to wear like the headpiece of jewelry because I have so much respect for y'all culture. I do. Cutie on duty. Oh, look at you. That's sweet, Michael. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Abby. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Angel. Gaming Squads. Hey, Gaming Squads. Thank you for sliding through. Yes. Hey, y'all got any? Let me know if y'all got any questions or anything that we can touch on dealing with fear. Was this, first of all, for the people that's been here for like most of the live or whatever may have you, like, was this content helpful for you? Is this helping you start to be able to open those doors and start to work through that? Thank you. The like for Brendies. Did I say that right? That's a beautiful last name. I like that. With the accent over the I. Yeah. I think I said it right. Brendies. That's pretty. Thank you, YMA. Okay, I'm glad I was able to help a soul. That's pretty much good enough for me. Because, when they be like, man, what have you done down here? I'm like, look, I did the best I could in challenging conditions, okay? I did what I could, y'all. Thank you so much, Kishore. Look, I ain't gonna lie, like, I kind of threw this together, like, real quick because, man, life was lifing, and, man, life was lifing. And plus, I'm supposed to go do something else. I got some errands to run, too. Tell you, look, hey, when I was in LA, let me tell you this story, because this shit pissed me off. When I was in LA, and I went to the mall down there, and I seen that sales tax was 10%. I was like, what the fuck? Why is the sales tax this high? But I couldn't be that mad because we didn't hit no potholes on the way to the mall from where we were staying at. So I'm like, are they using? I guess they're using it for the infrastructure. But yeah, California, the taxes go crazy, ridiculous. But you also got to think about it. A lot of people out there that tend to live in California have like an absurd amount of money, and that's kind of like spiking the economy out there. Because out there, I think y'all know. Well, last time I was out there, and it was a couple years ago. I think y'all was up to like $15, whereas where I was at, like on like closer to like the east side, like I said, Bible Belt, like they were still giving. They're still, bro. People are demons for real. Like they really out here giving people $7.25 an hour still as minimum wage. So, but yeah, man, shit. The only thing I can tell y'all, man, y'all better get together. I don't know, form a witch's circle. Write the affirmation down and be like, I will no longer have to pay California taxes. Like, because y'all gonna need some big energy for that one. And that's on the real. Kapil, dang, why you always say that when it comes to somebody of African descent? Like, yes, it's my hair. Okay. Bruh said, I paid 55K in taxes. Oh, God. Dang. In taxes, I went to do my taxes and they told me I owe 10K in taxes. I'm mad. I can afford it, but I'm real. I don't blame you at all. Like, I mean, yeah, but why would you want to pay that much? Like, you could have put that towards something else. You could have put that towards your business. You could invest it in something. You could invest it in a movement that's actually going to help society. So, I mean, shit, if they taking those taxes and they not really helping nobody, I would feel you on that, honestly. And I kind of do feel you on that because, when I be seeing that, you know, they be sending our money all to places that don't really need it, but we still got people here that are homeless and starving, and people. Y'all already know the middle class is practically non-existent at this point, and you know they've been dwindling that. I'm a sociologist, by the way, so I study these things. You know, so it's like it's about to be working class, and whoever's in charge, like it's crazy. Who said I love your hair? Robin. Hey, Robin. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Girl, I just threw this together real quick. We got Bailey from Uganda. Hey, like I said, can't wait to go to the motherland. Gotta hit up these countries, man. Cause they got this African restaurant out here where I stay at, y'all. And I tried when I had fufu for the first time, changed my life. I was like, bro, like y'all changing my life. Like this is what we've been missing out on. But it ain't too different from a lot of dishes that we serve here. I love people with melanin. I love black folks. Despite even being separated, we do a lot of the same shit. Actually, a lot of people could do this. But we do a lot of the same shit without even knowing each other. That's how interconnected we are. Thank you, Kishore. I make 150K plus a year. Oh, and you would definitely be considered broke in Cali. Like, I got, I was asked to move out that way. And like, I ain't had no problem. Like, I love Cali, I do. But at the same time, I was like, what I'm making in California or New York? No. I will be struggling. Like, no, baby. Can't do that. Mm-mm. Yeah. Especially if you live in like SoCal or like the Bay Area, like San Francisco. San Francisco's prices were always fucking ridiculous to me. I'm like, who paid for this for real? But then again, I'm coming from Mississippi, seeing San Francisco type prices. Yeah, of course, culture shock, right? Or living up there in fucking Napa Valley. Like, yeah. Man, you could have used that 10K to buy a vineyard. Or put a down payment on. You probably couldn't even buy a vineyard out there for 10K no more. This ain't the 90s. Let's see. Yes, I have my Minnie Mouse popping on right now, you guys. I don't even wear space buns like that, but I am today. Good evening. Can you come to America? Man, the shit, you gotta ask the orange man that. I don't know. You might have too much melanin for his preference. Ia une grande community. Yeah. I love the Black Panthers. I'm gonna go ahead and be frank with it. Do y'all love them out there too in Algeria? America is a continent. You live in North America. Rob, you are absolutely right. You are 1,010% right. So let me specify. In the country of the United States of America, you're gonna have to ask the orange man for their permission. And right now, he seems like he don't like nothing with melanin. Um, that's who he seems to target because he doesn't seem to be worried about a lot of the Eastern and Western Europeans that are over here illegally. They're not being mass deported like that. So, God dang, how much you said rent was, Mr. H? You know what? I don't know if y'all remember this guy. Dang, this was like 10 years ago or so. In New York, he was running, I think, was he running for governor or mayor? It was something like that, but he was trying to get political office. But his whole stance was just that rent is too damn high. Like, he's not wrong. Because even though I'm staying in the metropolitan area right now, they charge too damn much for rent, bro. A 2 bedroom, they want $1,600 for. No, I could take the rent that I would have paid you 2 times and got some type of mortgage loan. You could use that as a down payment on your mortgage loan or whatever. Like the amount of money you spending on rent out there, you really could have put towards just going ahead and buying a house, and your mortgage would cost a lot less than that. I bought a 3 bedroom, and my mortgage is not even breaking 1,000 at this point. Like, shout out to, I mean, like, it was unexpected, and the way it happened was not the way I preferred. But shout out to the universe and God. That's how I know I will always be provided for, because your conscious thought times action equals your manifestations. And I just knew that I would not be abandoned. I knew that I would not be neglected. I knew that we were going to be provided for, and provided for we were. Sometimes it comes to you in ways that you actually, a lot of times it might come to you in a way that you don't expect. Like, you didn't expect for it to come that way, but it did. Yeah, that's on the real. Oh, thank you. Bro, you got a 2 bedroom and it's 2,700. Right? Somebody, I don't know, bro. That seemed like a crime. Somebody, I don't know. Somebody, we gonna have to file a lawsuit. Somebody gonna have to get sued. This is criminal. This is criminal. You know what? It's funny. I said this is criminal. I started thinking about that Mr. Penguin from the Batman series. Yeah, yeah. Like, sheesh, man. I know. Mm-mm. Bro, Bristol, let's go. No, I'm for real. Like, yeah, see, that's the type of stuff that I'm actually working towards, like, changing that type of thing. Like, I'm literally working on that, like, in the background, for real, for real. Cause I'm not fucking playing. Like, that shit, that's a fucking crime. Ain't no fucking way rent is this goddamn high, but y'all still got the gall and the audacity to pay motherfuckers $7.25 an hour. That's a fucking crime. in my opinion. But at the same time, like I said, conscious thought times action equals manifestation. But I know what I'm trying to manifest. So in my conscious thought, I'm putting the action behind it so I can manifest that people got affordable housing. Okay? People can have affordable housing. And you don't have to live in the slums or so-called slums because they actually are taking the resources from that area. We're going to work towards bringing that back, okay? Because everything is cyclical. All right. Okay. All right. You know. As you should. And don't be and don't be afraid to speak up either. Like I said, like remember, even if your voice shakes, like say what you got to say because obviously you're being worked through. Like everybody that didn't slid through this live, who has benefited from anything that I've taken from this live, you know, like they already know what's up. You guys are already in alignment for this stuff. Like I was being told to go ahead and put this type of content out there. What's up, legend? Thank you for sliding through. Don't forget to like the live and subscribe if y'all enjoying the content. Let me see if I can read this. Rudraksh, Rudraksh, Rudraksh. You know what? I'm sorry. And if that came across disrespectful, I apologize. So yeah, but it looks like you kind of playing in my chat, so it might not matter. So anyway, but yeah, at the end of the day, you guys like even if your voice shakes, we got to speak up about this type of stuff. We need to raise awareness about this type of stuff. I feel like a lot of people know it and we can kind of see it, but we actually need to do that and then put some action behind it. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, if you guys don't have any further questions for me, like, you know, I'm probably about to slide on up out of here. I do appreciate everybody that's come through. Thank you. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, well, man, I appreciate you putting in work. If you're gonna do that, probably just put them in timeout or block them, cause um, I play, but I ain't here to play with them like that. So, pardon me, Sanetti. I don't know what you mean by that. Do, do, do. Thank you, thank you. May you continue to be blessed. Like may all you guys continue to be blessed and to know that you're always provided for. Just know that and know that you will always be taken care of and that you can truly live your wildest dreams even while you're here. You don't have to wait for nothing. You don't have to wait to die to see no pearly gate. Like heaven is here. Heaven and hell is truly already here. It's really within you. Which side of it do you want to fall on? And make sure you have a balance. My sister in the stream 2 weeks ago, and now she's in a coma. They don't think she will wake up. I'm really scared. My sister is my favorite person ever. She's only 16, and I don't want her to die. Please pray for her. Yes, I'm sending healing energy and loving and blessings to your sister as of right now. And we can go ahead and profess it right now because even though I don't know your sister like that, but I'm just getting this feeling. I feel like she's gonna pull through. She's gonna pull through and she's gonna heal and she's gonna recover and she's gonna have a smooth and easy recovery. And you will be right there by her side to help her make it through. She's gonna have that. And despite what's happening even in right now, we're gonna go ahead and that's the conscious thought right now. So we're gonna put the action behind it to ensure that whatever we're professing right now gets manifested. We're manifesting her healing right now. What you need, what she need. How we even get in that spot in the first place? Is she diabetic? Am I studying? I study a lot of things. I am a self proclaimed and accused nerd by definition. I love to learn. I do. I find it fun. I watch documentaries for kicks. It's fun for me. I just like not being ignorant. I appreciate you, Michael. Thank you. God sure do love us, and that's for sure. I fuck with Jesus the long way. Yes, all of your dreams are not someone else's. Yep, that's another big thing about it too. Not I mean, if your biggest dream is to help a Fortune 500 company continue to reach their dreams, then more power to you. Do live your best life, baby. I don't hold you. I don't hold nothing against you at all. And for the people that's trying to build their own dreams or trying to be a part of a smaller company that's trying to build that dream, shout out to y'all too. But just know that you can do that and that it will happen because that is the action that is needed to your conscious thought so you can make that manifestation. But you also have to address any other areas behind it as well, because a lot of things are multifaceted. You can't just do just one thing. It's a lot of it's multifaceted. Actually, you got to put in the work for real, and it might not be fun, but it's necessary, and you're gonna enjoy the benefits of it once you actually finish doing so. Mm. Did you try to say you know how I'm single? Cause you put demon. Chantel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kishore. Okay, guys. Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem. Hold on. I am Iraj. Tamil Nadu. I'm sorry. I skipped over the second one. Tamil Nadu business real estate. Okay. So you say you got your own real estate business. That's cool. That's cool. I hope that you're able to scale that up. Like, what are your goals with real estate? So intelligent respect. Thank you. Wish you heard your same. Congratulations. Oh, thank you. All right. Well, congratulations to you. Do, 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 do. Mm, yeah. Do, 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 do. No. Okay, she has a heart condition called ASD. I gotta look into that. That's why she had the stroke. I got really scared because it happened while I was. Oh my gosh, you poor baby. Oh no. I have to learn more about ASD. Hmm. And so one of the things I kind of do as well with my manifestation is I will try to educate myself on something. That way I can better work with the energy that is around it and try my best to work to transmute that energy. I want to learn more about ASD. Does she need a replacement or anything like that? Or what would be the solution? Mm. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Hey Liz, thank you for coming through. If you liking the live, go ahead and like it. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please do that. What do you do for work out there since you left Cali? Cali, that's so. I love California. I love it. I do. I do. I love seeing the people actually get out and actually work out. I love seeing like even adults actually be active. Like it was just a phenomenon that I just always loved to see from there. But for me, even growing up, because I don't know if y'all ever spent time like under the Bible in the South or whatever may have you. Especially if it was like the 80s, 90s, probably even 70s and shit like that. Before we was stuck in a house and our face was glued to some type of screen of some variation. We was outside playing all the time. Like that's how I really got into it. On top of my brother teaching me things, like I'd always spar with my brother too, and it was fun because we watched Dragon Ball Z, and then we would go spar like in the living room. Hope my mom don't see that part of the live because we weren't supposed to be doing it, but we would. And so yeah, and like from there, like I just was just always athletic. I probably also had it from my dad too because my dad is very athletic. He still works out, which I admire that about him. So yeah, calisthenics, working out, because there's really there's kind of like really no excuse, especially when it comes to like working out, because you can always do calisthenics. You don't need weight unless you're trying to bulk, and your body weight is only good up to a certain point, and then you might need to add on weights if you're trying to build on more mass than your body actually needs. But yeah, my biggest thing was always calisthenics. Like shit, sometimes I get the urge, drop down and Do push-ups until you're exhausted, or do squats, or whatever, lunges, whatever may have you. But yeah, but Pisces rules over my sixth house, so every time I get an intuitive feel or a pull to go do something, I just go do it, and that's what helps me out. Plan on moving back to San Diego right on Mission Beach in California. Shit, you talking about you gonna move to San Diego straight to the beach? Boy, you ain't worried about them texts. Hey Jawad, thank you for coming through. Do I have a six pack? Yes. Yes. That was a very strange question. I don't even know why I answered that. You know, I do know why I answered it because I pride myself on it. I do. I pride myself on it. She won't need a replacement. We just have to hope she wakes up. Didn't sleep the first 3 days and stayed by her bedside. The doctors basically said it's based on luck. Mm. I hope she wakes up. She'll wake up. She's gonna wake up. Keep going to. I don't know why I just got this feeling. I do know why. It's probably a download. But keep going to your sister. Keep talking to her. Keep making physical contact with her. Like keep touching her hand. You know. I don't know why I keep seeing like touching her hand. Like it's gonna help. Cause she can feel it, and she's probably gonna talk about it when she gets back. Like when her gets back into her conscious mind. Touch her hand. Keep talking to her. Keep, because I think that energy, exchanging that type of kinetic energy with her is what's going to help her to get back into that, because you're sending signals into her brain, and it's going to make her brain have to be more active in that type of regard. And I don't know why. It's just a feeling that I had, God. I can't even explain it. I truly can't. Maybe, I hope that works, you know. Maybe that was just straight intuition. But I think like keep making contact, talk to her, and talk to her like she's still there. You know, just be like, yeah, man, you know, like this is what happened today. Like, can you believe such and such did that? Like, bro, they tripping. Like, do that. And that should help. So it's all about how the energy you give is the energy you get back. That's very factuals, Mr. Angel preaching right now. You give what you get back, which allows everyone to feel your energy. hmm People's energy that comes together is more powerful. Yep, that's why I told you get you a coven to help solve your tax issues in California than anyone would ever expect. Yes, and that is very true. Bye, Sanetti. I'll see you later. Thank you for sliding through. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So like the more people that get into that conscious thought, like you make that manifestation appear like even more in a more powerful way. So yeah, shoot, I could even tie how that stuff affected the election in the United States, but I'm about to slide out of here. The doctors say music really helps. It does. We've been playing her favorite artist on repeat. I'm not allowed to touch her for too long. Why? The nurses told me I couldn't. What? Why you can't touch your sister? Like the fuck you mean I can't touch my sister? What are you saying? Why can't I touch my sister? Like I need to know. I need to know a valid medical reason as to why I cannot touch my sister's hand. Why can't I hold my sister's hand? Because I don't know why. See, every time I say that, I keep envisioning you holding her, like using two of your hands to like encase like your sister's hand, like just to give her that feeling. And I don't know why I feel like massaging like too is kind of helping as well. So I don't get that. Thank you, Ray. Hey, I mean, hey, but yes, also that's another thing too. I also left out. Be grateful and say thank you for what you do have, and be grateful for the position that you're already in. Because if you can't be grateful for what you already have, that's another blocking to your manifestations as well. Because it shows like you're not even grateful for what you did get. So why should you get more? Would you want to keep giving stuff to somebody that's ungrateful? Because I know I don't. The moment you show me you don't appreciate shit, I ain't giving you shit else. Period. And I know I'm just up here cussing, but that's how I do. Hey, shout out to Russia. Love Russia. Shout out to y'all. Let's see. I'm good. Um, That translator probably just did you a misfortune on there when they said what interesting. But now we were just talking about manifestation and basically fear, false evidence appearing real. I'm actually about to get ready to hop out this live. If you would like to go back and watch that. If y'all have no other questions, I'm gonna go ahead and go because I'm hungry and I got errands to run. I guess not. So yeah, I don't discriminate. It's whoever treats me with respect. So you know, it's where I get treated the best. All right, peace out. Yep. All right, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. I can't wait to see y'all next week. Don't forget to like the live if y'all haven't. Definitely about to go drink some water. Thank you, Kishore. Maybe you can hear that. I left. That's what it was. I left my Stanley in the other room, and I said I was gonna grab it. But yeah. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you, and I will holler at y'all later.